Okay, welcome everyone, James Parker from jamesparkergolf.com, and this is a video a few days ago. I'm just out there practicing before all this snow got here in Dallas, and I'm just practicing something very simple. I call it the figure of 8 drill, and it's basically the feeling in my hands of this club head moving in a figure of 8. So going back, it's gonna be a little steeper, and coming down, it's gonna be a little flatter. So I'm working very hard on trying to get that club head high, and you can see that shaft's a little steep there, and I'm just kind of setting it and then turning to the top. And of course, then when I turn to the top, I'm trying to drag the handle across, which then drops the club head and gathers the club head and gets it on a little kind of steeper, flatter plane coming down. So, but of course, although I feel it's a lot steeper going back, it's actually just coming straight up the inclined plane. Look, my hands are working up it, the club head is working up it, and then it starts to come off the inclined plane there, the club head, and just gets a little steep. So the idea behind this is I, just like everybody else, has a tendency to kind of flip this club head behind my hands going back. So it's a really good exercise and what it feels like is a figure of 8, right? My club head's kind of coming up this way, and then a bit more turn to the top, and then there's a great exercise that Brian Manzella taught me a few months ago when I went down to see him down in New Orleans, and he just said, well, basically imagine that your handle is on a shelf or something like that, and then try and drag the handle and your hands across the shelf. Now, obviously, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if my handle's going that way, you can see what the club head does. The club head gathers, the club head drops down, and this is what you see all the top guys do on tour, right? This shaft kind of shallows out, coming down, and as they come down into impact, the most of them have got this club head still behind their hands slightly, coming down into impact. So, I call it the figure of 8 drill. It's just simply going back. It's a little steeper. The club feels very, very light because it's you can see it's almost vertical. And then as you come down, it's a lot heavier, right? Obviously, I'm overdoing it. If you want to make a change, you have to overdo things to generate that feeling in your hands and your muscles. But as you come down, this club head dropping down, the shaft shallowing down, there's a lot of pressure build up in this first pad or first joint of that right hand trigger finger. Okay, so that's what you want to try and feel coming down into impact, and you're holding on to it down through impact and post impact, and almost all the way through to the finish as well. You can see if you do that, the hands kind of exit left. This is what you see most of the pros do on tour, especially a lot of Sean Foley students, the guys that work with Sean Foley. I see them kind of setting the club here, making sure the club head is behind the hands, feeling that pressure in the trigger finger, and then exiting left. So I'm feeling that, and then got a bit of James Brown going on in the old listeners, and just trying to produce it in the golf swing. So steeper going back, flatter coming down, light going back, heavy coming down, and if you practice that, I think it'll really help you out. Cheers.